Hello FlowsTube, my name is Tamara and I'm trying to film a new video. Yes, I'm trying because I had a little vacation. Why do I say little? Because this was actually the biggest gap in not filming, like since I have a channel. And I needed this vacation, honestly, this gap, this, how they say, charging the batteries. Actually, I was planning starting filming earlier, like in the beginning of September when school starts. But you know, stitching is a hobby. But before this hobby, all of us have life, and in our life there are things which we have to do. And I had things to do. That's why. That's why I'm starting later, but it's better later than never, they say. That's why today I have here this beautiful Carol stitching, and I have such a nice tennis cup from Queen Anne, if I'm not wrong. Yes, this is a new acquisition. By the way, I have to film a video about my recent purchases, and not so recent because I have purchases, interesting ones. And I invite you to join to a cup of coffee and some, I don't know how you would call this one. Probably you would call them marshmallows, but they are not like the classical marshmallow taste, you know. They are from my country, from Moldova, and they have been made, this one, since I was a child, so they are the taste of my childhood. Yeah, so I dearly love them, and whenever my mom is sending me a parcel, I always ask her to put some like this. About the vacation, we were planning, by the way, to have 4 weeks, but due to some unexpected turnings and solving, everything is okay, nothing like serious, but still we had things. So we had just 3 weeks, but it was very intense because we traveled to Moldova and Romania, because I am from Moldova, my husband is from Romania, but territorially we are not very far away. I mean, like because my native place is in Moldova, is not far from Romania, and my husband also is not far from the border with Moldova. So we traveled in between countries, visited like lots of things, did a lot of things. The most important thing is that I saw my parents, my child spent time with grandparents, and it was tiring, by the way, because we did a lot of things. We visited a lot of relatives. As Anka said, that you need a vacation from vacation. Yes, indeed, I do need these ones. But it was nice. It was really, really nice. And And, yeah, when coming back, as I said, I wanted to start filming earlier, but there were things to do. And now I'm all in pink, still in pink, because I want to show you what I have stitched so far. By the way, I haven't stitched a lot because I didn't have time for stitching. But nevertheless, I have something to show to you. You won't see anything about autumn in this video, even if I am in love with this season and I love very much stitching autumn. This is going to be in the next video. But today I want to speak about two big finished projects, which I'm very proud of, that I finished them, and a progress on a little one. Okay, and I will start with this beautiful sampler. This is, I hope I have it, yeah, because I don't have any other preview. This is Sandy Orton Le Jardin sampler, which I had a little bit of work and I would have finished it. And yes, I finished it. I'm ready to show it to you finished today. It's a super beautiful design. I'm glad that I managed to stitch it, because I was afraid that I won't be able to do some stitches as these roses, for example. I was super afraid of them, but everything is well when it ends well, said Shakespeare. Okay, by the way, why do I have two magazines? Because this design was released in Just Cross Stitch in 1998. Into half of the design was released in one magazine, and the other half is going to be released in the other, was released in the other one. I purchased them, I think, a couple of years ago, maybe less, 1.5, I'm not sure. It wasn't a tough search, and they weren't very expensive. I don't know now if you can find them, but I think if you're going to look farly, you can find them. So this is June 1998, August 1998, Just Cross Stitch. And by the way, here in these two magazines, you can see pretty nice designs. I wouldn't say all of them, I liked many of them, but still I want to stitch just one. I'm going to show which one I'm going to stitch, and after I'm going to stitch this design, the design I still want to stitch, this magazines are going to go to another stitcher who also wants to stitch this design. I mean the Le Jardin sampler very much. So this is Le Jardin. By the way, what I liked about this I don't know how this chart looks like if you would have purchased it from Cooler Design Studio. I know that 123 Stitch uses to sell a lot of their in PDF format, their charts, but this one is exceptional because you can see a lot of things. Look, here it's the roses, because this was my, how they say, Bible. I looked very attentively here, and this is how I stitched them, the roses, I mean. The chart, some cushions. This one is beautiful, by the way. I won't stitch it, because probably you have to look for this butterfly to find it, but it's really nice. What else? This one is nice also. Again, I am not going to stitch it. I'm just trying to show you what else you have here if you decide to buy it, to see if it's worth paying money or no. Such a sampler. This is a marriage announcement, actually. And what else? Such a sampler. A simple one, I would say. Okay, what else? Such samplers. And this one, Tea Time, Golden Butterfly. So this is the design I want to stitch. Yeah, I kind of have everything for it except these big beads. They are Mill Hill glass pebble beads. When I wanted to order them last time I made a purchase to 123 Stitch, they didn't have them in stock. Now they had them, ordered them, and I'm waiting for them. This kind of pillow, this is not a pin cushion, it's a pillow. Okay, such a design. And this is from, by the way, from Le Jardin. You see the Bargello. They called it, we didn't call it Hungarian point band, they called it. You see, I did it from here, because here they tell you with which color to start and how to do it. I did it exactly as they were describing it and showing here, and I'm very happy about how it turned. About the rose, you see, they're still showing how to do the rose so that it would be beautiful. And it finishes here. So yes, the design I want to stitch is this one. This one. I didn't think about the finishing yet, but I think I'll find something so that I would finish it nicely. And in the one which has the second part, here there is such a lavender dream design. It reminds me of Victoria Sampler a little bit. Nice one, but I won't stitch it. And I think very worthy design, which is presented here. This is Teresa Wenzler, Birdhouse Bellpool. I haven't stitched any Teresa Wenzler so far, and if I'm not wrong, I don't have anything purchased from her. I am thinking about a couple of designs which I like. I'm thinking, but I'm not sure if I'll buy them eventually, because they are pretty difficult, because I see how the other stitchers stitch them. Okay, such a design for a pillow. What else? What else? Such a sampler. I like this one, by the way. I was even thinking a while, shall I stitch it or not? Then I decided that no. Okay, and such boxes they have here. Wings of Freedom. Nice one. Such a summer birdhouse sampler. This one apparently is the last one in the series, because in the other numbers they published the other seasons. I don't have the others, didn't even look for, because I knew that I won't stitch it. Le Jardin, you see the second part, and the chart. You see the part which is made with the petites, how well is given here. And then the tassels, how you should make the tassels. You see the carnations, the leaves here, everything, absolutely everything is given. And if you want to stitch and make yourself such a gate vest, okay, stitches illustration, and that's it. Yes, that's it. And how the design turned to be. Okay, I think that you can see it properly if I'm going to show it like this, because yeah. So yes, since my last video where I showed that I have to do some things, I did those things and I finished it. I did it. Super happy. So first of all, the thing which I'm proud the most is the thing that I still the thing I was afraid the most is these roses, and I did them. I wouldn't say that it was the easiest thing I made, but I wouldn't say that it was the difficult one, a difficult task, and I haven't frogged anything. So I managed to make them from the first attempt, yeah. So yes, very carefully, nicely, looked in the magazine and made them. I know that some stitchers who stitched this design, they complained about this chronic thread, thick thread. I tried to do my best with this one as well, and I attached it, by the way, because the instructions say to attach it with the chronic number 1, I think that one is, yeah, the one which is very thin, like hair, yeah. But I still attached it with YLI invisible thread. I don't know why I thought that this one is going to be much better, because I noticed in the preview that that thin chronic still could be seen, so I used YLI. And here, like in the end, I did the tassels, made these ones, finished it. finished it. And after finishing, like doing all the stitches, like finished all the work with the threads, I attached the paillettes with the beads, because this was the last thing. By the way, it was a day's work, as I said that I am going to have probably a day's work, and yes, indeed, it was a day's work, a tough day, I would say, but still it was a day work with this one, and I finished it before going on a holiday, by the way. The paillettes and the beads, I saw that many of these teachers who had this design, they used to attach paillettes of a different color, for example, Swarovski beconnesses, and this everything is beautiful. I liked the variants which I saw, but in my case, I don't know why, I decided that I will try to stick to the original. Meaning that the paillettes, actually they had to be mill heel paillettes, 4 millimeters diameter. I couldn't find those ones. Still, I found somewhere in a Canadian shop, which wasn't a cross-stitch shop. I'm not sure if they had them in stock, but because some shops, you know that they don't use to indicate everything they have actually in stock. The thing is that they were pretty expensive by themselves, but the most important thing is that the postage, the postage was like 4 times, I think, more expensive than them. Sometimes when I need to buy an item from a shop, so that I would, how do I say, I wouldn't feel guilty about paying so much for the shipping, I used to buy something else from that shop, you know, so that I would like buy more things, and I wouldn't pay the shipping just for one small thing. But here, as I said, it wasn't a cross-stitch shop, and I couldn't buy absolutely anything except those paillettes. That's why I gave up. I looked for simple, like cheap, I would say, paillettes. They are gold and they are 4 millimeters. For me, it was very important to look for 4 millimeter diameter, because otherwise you would change the outlook of the design. And the mill heel beads, I purchase them according to the key. So only one thing I changed here, the rest is absolutely everything stitched according to the key. So here where this back stitch is, everything should be stitched, the paillettes should be attached just with thread, you see, no beads. I don't know, I'm doing it like this so that you would see how beautifully they look like. I adore how they look like on this back stitch. According to the instructions, these paillettes should have been attached with thread, if I'm not wrong. I attached them with a YLI invisible thread again, because I thought that this one is more invisible. And this one on the top, this one is paillette and mill heel bead, I mean like this one. Again, according to the key. Then the paillettes attached with a bead, they come like here, above the roses, you see, like there are 4 here. Then here on the back bottom part of the design. So this one is attached with a bead, these 4 are attached with a bead, these ones come without a bead. And the only thing which I changed is that I attached this one also with a bead, because according to the key here it should have been just the back stitch with the cranic, and that's it. And it looked a little bit, how they say, the center should be nicer. That's why I attached this one, and I feel very, very happy about how this one looks like. And the tassels, these are not the first tassels I made, so I have tassels like this in the Lily sampler. So yes, I am very proud that I managed to stitch such a design. So this would be a second one in the series. I have the Lily sampler I showed you in the previous videos, and I'm sure that I'm going to show you in future ones, because the next one is probably going to be Paradise. Floral Paradise it's called. I don't know exactly. I'll look up. So and most probably that one is going to be already next season. I mean, like next warm season, spring, summer, things like this. The lily sampler I stitched according to the original kit. I just changed the fabric because the fabric is going to be the same for all of them. I'm using Brittany Lugana from Zweigart, and the color is mushroom. So I have fabric for the rest of them. I mean, like these samplers, which look more or less the same. So I have fabric for all of them, and I decided to change for lily sampler so that all of them would be on the same fabric. When framed, like being on a wall, they would look nice together. So this was the first design which I stitched and I finished. And the second design I finished. I totally finished it. This is a Gratitude Sampler by Shepherd's Bush. Yes, this is a design which I showed the least, I mean the progress. I showed it just once when I started it. And now I am just showing you the finished design. Yes, this one was taken with me like during the holiday. I stitched it during the holiday. Not a lot, I would admit not a lot, as much as I had time. I stitched it in the beginning of September because this one is not a summer finish. Still, I stitched it in the beginning of September, but nevertheless, I wanted to finish it so that I could switch to the autumn designs. It's the biggest sampler by Shepherd's Bush which I have stitched so far. It was a design which I wanted a lot because it was a purchase of the beginning of the year, I think. I don't remember exactly when, but I know for sure it was in the first half of the year. And when I just received it, I said that I want to stitch it because I used to do this thing lately with the designs I want much, because I think about like, okay, I wanted them a lot, I'm buying them, why should they stay in the stash if this was something which I wanted a lot? And I decided I will stitch it. Taking into consideration that I'm stitching pretty fast the designs by Shepherd's Bush, and if I would count the time I spent stitching it, yes, it wasn't a lot of time, but nevertheless it's a very beautiful and pretty big design by Shepherd's Bush. Okay, so I stitched everything according to the key with the ingredients which were in the kit, because this one was a kit. So I had the fabric which was in the kit, I had the threads, where are they? Just a sec, let me show you. The threads, which these are the leftovers. By the way, I wouldn't say collecting, I am keeping these leftovers because sometimes they prove to be helpful when you are stitching another design. Everything was enough. The only thing which is not here is the DMC thread. There is a gray shade of DMC because I didn't have holes anymore. That's why I decided that here are going to be the silk threads. So here are au Verassoir. These ones which come with the numbers, they are au Verassoir, all of them. These ones are the ones which come with the names. They are Fred Gever and say it, Gloriana. Yeah. I would be honest that I was expecting that some of the threads wouldn't be enough, taking into consideration that it's a big design, a large design. And I saw in some videos that some stitchers said that there are designs where there isn't enough, and I was expecting this. I wasn't afraid of this because I have leftovers from other designs, and I have some of these threads. I already have them purchased for when I was stitching this design. I mean, like the box and the things in the box. These ones were stitched in 2 threads, not in 1 according to the key. That's why there were threads which I purchased the extra. I mean, like Fred Gevrer, Gloriana, even au Verassoir. And as the threads repeat themselves from one design to the other, I have some of these skeins in my stash. So I wasn't afraid so much that they would finish and I wouldn't have a replacement. But nevertheless, everything was enough. And these ones are also going to go into my stash, so that when I'll stitch another design by Shepherd's Bush, I would have extra in case I need to. For example, why do I keep them? Because sometimes it cannot be enough what you have, or sometimes if I think to stitch a design in 2 threads, not in 1 but in 2 threads, as I did with this one, so that I would have extra threads and I would stitch it like that. So this is the reason. Okay, so I showed you, the only time I showed you this design was the central seam, because I calculated where the center is and I started from the center, and that's it. So I stitched the center and went up and finished and went down. The thing is that the whole design consists of, like, I don't know how to place it so that you would see it, the whole thing. Yeah, more or less you can see it. So the whole design consists of 3 main scenes, and in between them there are words, and there are specialty stitches, something like this. You know, which is the thing which I didn't I wouldn't say that I hated, I didn't like, or it was boring about this design, and generally speaking about shepherd's bush design, is the fact when you are stitching the, you are filling in the field, you know, the heel. So this one drives me a little bit crazy. I always used to stitch everything else, and I just start watching something interesting, and then I'm filling in this one, because I'm getting so much bored about this one. Okay, let me start at the beginning. I made some changes, little ones, but still I made some changes. For example, in the first scene here, there are no specialty stitches, nothing. Just the heads, the tails of the sheep, they were supposed to be stitched with arroyo. Arroyo, it's pretty grayish, you see? And I didn't like it. I used the antique black. That's why I have some little left over, because I used it where I was not supposed to use, but even if I did so, it was enough, because I got used that in all the designs by Shepherd's Bush, I use the black one. That's why I use the black, and I don't regret a bit. By the way, in the first scene here, this garden, flower garden, it was pretty intense, because I got used that Shepherd's Bush, this is a very easy stitch, you know, very how do I say, not complicated and relaxing. But here I had to change like a lot of things. It was more or less. Then in between, so there is like this specialty stitches, this one. By the way, nothing new, at least for me. As I used to stitch quite a lot of Just None and Shepherd's Bush, I wouldn't say that I had something new. For example, for Shepherd's Bush, this one, darning needle, it's called, if I'm not wrong. I haven't met it in a shepherd so far, but I met it like twice, or even 3 times in Just Nan. I stitched this one in Just Nan for sure, so I knew what's this about, you see. The words joys and blessings, these ones are stitched with petites, I mean like one thread, cross stitch in one thread, after one thread. Yeah, I am not a fan of petite stitch, but I understand its effect in the in a design. That's why when I'm stitching petites, I have such a thing that I'm trying not to. I'm trying to stitch it when I'm alone, so that I wouldn't be interrupted, because I hate being interrupted when I'm stitching this one. I try very much to stitch the parts of the petite when, for example, my child is at school, the husband is at work, I'm just starting and I'm stitching it, and I'm doing a pretty fast and good job when I'm concentrated and I'm not interrupted, you see? Because if I'm interrupted and I have to go back, it's, I don't know, I don't like at all doing this with the petites, you see? And by the way, here I made a mistake. So joys and blessings, because for these words, there is such a separated chart, and they tell you, for example, begin heart 20 threads from the edges. This heart, it means. I don't know what I've done with the first one, but I didn't place it absolutely correctly. I tried to deal it with the hearts, like placing the hearts differently. Anyway, it didn't work. And this one, joys and blessing, it comes a little bit to the left than the rest of them, because faith and friendship, I did it correctly. Love and gratitude, I did it correctly. Take into account that I told you now this thing, you may notice this, but if you look at the first glance, very hardly you notice this, and you understand that I made the mistake. I would have ripped it if this wasn't petite cross stitch. If it was normal one, honestly, I wouldn't have anything against it, ripped it and did it correctly. The petite, I'm not going to do it, no way. And it's not such a big mistake. I decided that I'm going to leave it like this, and it's going to be just me who will know the secret, and of course you who are watching this video. Okay, the central scene. So here, this is the one which I started with, and by the way, the sheep head and tail here also was with gray, and I changed it for black. This was where I started, and I understand that I don't like it. These birds here, these 3 birds which are made with back stitch, actually they should be bluish. I made them bluish, I didn't like, and I changed it in grayish. I don't know, I thought that they are more visible like this, and I liked it better. And in this one, there are some such specialty stitches, you see. So here are like some specialty stitches. By the way, this thing is present also, you know where? Here, in the box of this. So here, but it's little here, it's not so much. Like in here it was an element and that's it. But here there were many more. And when this one finished, again it was like specialty stitches. Here, this is the same darning needle as this one. So this one and this one, they have the same technique. By the way, the technique is not difficult. So you need to take like 2 rows and you go here and then you come back. You go here, you come back. You go here, you come back. And the variegated thread, it looks very, very beautifully. And if it's silk, as is in this case, it looks even more beautiful. So it has a little bit of, how do I say, glow. Nice one. And then Faith and Friendship, again with cream. I don't know if it's seen, it was again on specialty stitches. And the last scene. The last scene is this one. Actually, by the way, actually, here is the whole story, because in the first one you can see the hills and it's their house, yes, the shepherd's house. In the second one, the hills and the shepherd with the sheep. Sheep is everywhere. And in the third one, actually is the lady, the girl, so his wife, let's say so, his partner, because it's a she, and she has a huge basket of flowers. And again, it's just only one sheep here, and again flowers, something like this. And Love and Gratitude, and again there is a rice stitch ending this one. The embellishment which was here, not a lot by the way, I don't know if you noticed it. So there is a flower here in the flower garden. Then there is a key charm in the shepherd's hand. Here it is. And in the last one, this is the richest in embellishments. There is a button here in the basket. There is a flower here, and there is a little bee here. Nice one. It was really, really nice to be stitched. And as I said, this is the largest sampler I have by Shepherd's Bush so far. I mean, like the tallest, the widest. Except this this one, but this one was separate items, like the box, the shepherd's fold. I stitched it, it was last summer or even the summer before, don't remember exactly. I'm not showing it very often, but I'm very proud, by the way, of this achievement. I didn't buy the shaker's box, which was recommended. I purchased an IKEA box, which these ones are also out of production, by the way. IKEA is not selling them anymore. Malgroda, I think it was called. And I tried to paint it also in a eggplant plum color. Yeah, it was a whole experience, because this one is 28 count. It's not the fabric from the kit. I tried to choose something which was more or less close to the kit. And this one is stitched in 2 threads. That's why I have like extra threads. The huge pink cushion. Everything here was a kit, so I had the kits for each of them. The candy, which is not so big, and I really, really love this thing. This is the ruler, and I made it very stiff, this one. Okay, what else I have here? The needle case. This is how it looks like, and this is what I have in between. So all the materials were in the kit, all of them. I just stitched. And oops, sorry. And I have this one. This is the tiniest. Look, tiny sheep. I adore them. For this one, I actually purchased a Kelmscott scissor, a small one, love scissor. This is mostly for display, even though this one is pretty, you know, like handy. And this kind of, I tried a lot to find the accessories for this one. It was a quest for me. What else do I have? Yeah, also I have for this one the needle threader, also from Just Another Button, which also was recommended for this one. And I also placed here, I see my ship tools. So this is a needle minder actually, and this is the also Kelmsco design, the ship scissor, and here it's the fob also. These ones, what I don't like about them is that they are pretty heavy. I like how they look like. I love them for the look, but as a usage, for example, I wouldn't change them for these ones. These ones are very light, they are cutting very nicely, and they have sharp ending, which I like a lot. These ones, they have the sharp ending, but they are very short here, which I don't like so much, and they are, how to say, they are pretty heavy. I'm not used to heavy scissors, something like this. So yeah, this is my shepherd treasure, shepherd's treasures, which I have here. And this, as I said, this would be my biggest sampler from Shepherd's Bush, which I have stitched. And this is the second finished design, which I wanted to show you in this video. So yeah, this is my shepherd treasures, which I have here. And the last thing I wanted to show you in this video is a progress. It's not a finish, of course, it's a progress. So this is lavender and lace fallen roses. I started this project also during the summer, being very brave and saying that I'm going to stitch it during the summer. I don't know what I was thinking about actually, because this is a big design to be stitched, but I made a little progress. That's why I want to share it with you. So I showed you, first time I showed you that I had this this element, just this one, and what I have added actually is this part, this wing, as I used to call it. Actually, it's it's this one, you see, almost, because the roses are not finished. It's being stitched really quick. This is the 28th count. I chose the color taupe. I don't remember which one is no, not sandstone. Oh, don't remember exactly. Don't have the chart with next to me now. But the fabric which is recommended by the key, it's out of production. That's why I couldn't choose that one. But I chose something which I thought it's going to be okay. I got to stitch these roses which are here, so I need these roses. They are going to be here, 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 and here. And if you choose, you can stitch the hearts also with these colors, or you can stitch the hearts in needle paint threads. I said that I'll try this one as well to see which one I like the best. And the thing is that these roses, they are stitched actually with 3 colors. This is 915, the darkest one, 917, this one the lighter, and the lightest one is 3609. You see, I started stitching it and I didn't like the light one, how light it comes. I even ripped it off because it was wrong. I made the mistake and it was wrong and I ripped it off. But I didn't like it at all because it was too light. And I was looking like here. Yes, I know that they are kind of working out these previews and they don't look exactly as they have to. But nevertheless, the fact how the roses look here, I like it more. The light pink is not so evident. That's why I didn't have time. I just grabbed the DMC thread card and wanted to show you. Look, I even found it. 915 is this one. 917 is this one. It's the next one in the shade, and 3609 it's this one. So between this one and this one there are like 1, 2, 3 shades. I won't even choose 3608 because I still think it's light, but I'm going to pull out of my boxes with threads 718 and 3607, and probably I'm going to try both of them. I'm going to try with one of them to see and with the other one. But I tend, like now visually, I tend more that I'll choose 3607. Because this one is lighter, but it's not so light as this one. So I think this one is going to be chosen for these flowers. I like the color, but I don't like how it looks when I stitch the roses together. So yeah, I think I'm going to change this one. And that's it about my finishes, about my progress. As I said, if I said during this video, that next one is going to be about my autumn projects, because I have a great plan about autumn projects. As I said, this is my favorite season, and I can't wait to start them. I already prepared them and I can't wait to start them and to show them to you what I'm going to stitch. And you know, usually I start stitching autumn from September, and mid-November I already switched to Christmas designs. But this year, taking into account that I almost missed September, I think I'm going to stitch the whole November. I am going to continue stitching autumn designs. I'll see how the inspiration is going to be. So yeah, I kind of got, how do I say, how do I say correctly? I almost forgot how to film videos, because I think this one was kind of clumsy, but I'm sorry about that. And hope the next one is going to be nicer. So don't miss my next video. And until then, bye bye.